What kind of man makes a yokozuna? One who takes both seismic change and adversity in his stride. Terunofuji's pro-sumo baptism could scarce have been less normal and more tumultuous. His stablemaster was sick and never there. His March 2011 debut was postponed due to the match-fixing scandal and first cancelled tournament in 65 years. His stable's top wrestler and de facto coach, Wakatenro, was fired for match-fixing. And on March the 11th, he was shaken by Japan's worst earthquake in 88 years, leading to power rationing and blackouts in Tokyo for a month. When Teru finally fought a match in May of that year, it was in a kokugikan rendered darker than usual due to power-saving measures, and under the banner of a technical evaluation rather than an official tournament. Yet, he seemed to shrug it all off. He had turned pro in December 2010, with the aid of, who else but, Hakuho, who after months of searching texted to say he'd found a stable with an opening for a foreigner. Remember, each stable can only have one. Perhaps through destiny, given Hakuho's current title, that stable was Magaki, then in a phase of permanent decline under the absentee ownership of ex-yokozuna Wakanohana II. His incapacitated state meant that training was taken by Wakatenro, while guidance on etiquette was provided by 28-year-old Yobidashi Teruya. Terunofuji towered over the other members from day one, and after Wakatenro left, was easily the best wrestler. However, dependency on just two sparring partners, Shunba and Waka Aoba, meant his progress eventually slowed. More specifically, after clearing pre-sumo 2-0, Teru had fully debuted under the ring name of Waka Misho in July 2011, losing his first ever bout by overstepping the rope during his own attack. He'd then recovered to go 5-2, before posting a host of winning scores which took him to Upper Division 3. But there did he post straight losing scores, and then only just arrest the slide with a 4-3. Looking back now, I was clearly training too little and enjoying myself too much, he writes. What really brought this home, and transformed his fortunes, was the closure of the old Magaki stable in March 2013, and his enforced transfer to his current home of Isegaham Stable, which was then housing Yokozuna Harumafuji. Isegahama was renowned for its grueling practice environment, Teru explains, and I soon found myself training 3 to 4 times harder than I had at Magaki. We're talking up to 130 bouts a day, Terutsuyoshi sometimes did 180, and 30 to 40 minutes of charging practice. I sometimes went non-stop from 7 AM until well past midday, then did weights in the afternoon. But the benefits for the strapping young man were tangible. Things I couldn't do one day, I found myself able to do the next, he says. It was like I was getting stronger overnight. And the taste of success only increased his training appetite. I was no longer being asked to do things, I was doing things of my own volition, is how he puts it. Within just 6 months, Teru was not only in Division 2, but winning the title on his debut with a 12-3. When asked to recall memorable moments, most wrestlers will cite the match which took them to Division 2 and their first ever salary, Teru asserts. But I'm different. I well remember the promotion clinching bout against Chiyo Arashi. I just threw him across the ring. But the rest I'd rather forget. I'd been out drinking without permission the night before, and the master had somehow learned of this. Thus, on the morning of my crucial match, did he give me an almighty tongue-lashing over the phone. I thus spent most of my time in the arena, anxiously looking around me and avoiding places he might go. Thankfully, I still had the presence of mind to secure promotion, but when I got back to camp, I was grounded for a month. The presence of a strict father figure for the first time since he'd flown Ishiura's nest in 2010, buttressed by enforcers Terunofuji and Aminishiki, instilled the first traces of humility within. I began to understand why Shunba and Teruya had been so hard on me in my Magaki days, even though I was top-ranked in the stable, he says. All that was clearly for my own benefit. And when I reached Division 2, I made a point of thanking each man individually for his tough love. And the list of names he'd have to thank was about to grow far longer.